See over near 7HG. Chris?
Yeah, those robbery suspects, David, in that gray Nissan sedan right there traveling westbound on the 105 freeway. A pretty dangerous pursuit that has forced the LA County Sheriff's Department to put this into tracking mode. So they are tracking it from up above as he has crisscrossed several freeways over the last several minutes. The first thing you notice as we pull up on scene here is some damage, some light damage to that rear left fender. These are robbery suspects, apparently suspects, not exactly sure how many people are inside the vehicle. Heavily tinted windows from all sides there, making it very difficult, not only for us, but even law enforcement to tell what's going on inside that vehicle.
Heavily tinted windows.
Very
Here we go, kids.
down
Bank
with
robber. I've been waiting.
He is on the 105 freeway again, continuing westbound towards the 110 freeway.
I've been waiting for them to go live.
Through the Watts area, crisscrossing all of those
Please
painted
go ahead and
lines
share
there.
this out.
Hugging that,
He's already been involved in one accident. Anything is possible.
He is all over the pavement
thank
as he continues now.
Please allow me to do some work real quick, and then I will jump in the chat and say hello.
Light as he continues his way westbound. If he was on the eastbound side, it'd be a different story. Much heavier traffic in the opposite direction. He may very well get off the freeway. He's been on surface streets over the past 30 to 40 minutes as well. Again, they are trying to maybe get CHP involved here, but right now, only that LA County Sheriff's Department helicopter
earlier he was just
movements, David and Ellen.
Right, this
very
started
inconsistent
in
with his
Lakewood,
and
it's
getting
continuing
off and
on.
on.
How open the freeway is, which is fairly unusual for 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but sometimes it happens when we watch these pursuits. And as you said, he was really going at a high rate of speed, but now, even though he's passing up a lot of cars, I wouldn't say it's highly unusual to see traffic going at that level. But what about when he was on surface streets? How erratic were the reports of how he was behaving? I haven't seen a whole lot about that.
Behaving badly.
I haven't either, only to say I've seen words like wild, I've seen it high speed, but I have no visual or eyewitness accounts of exactly what they were dealing with.
We saw Mikey put,
the mere fact that
wow,
they were forced
insane,
to
crazy
pull
chase.
off of the hot pursuit tells you that the driving was just getting too risky for them to continue that pursuit, despite the fact that this was a robbery. Apparently, we are now understanding that there was no gun involved, so not an armed robbery, but a robbery nonetheless.
Unarmed robbery.
Again, how many
get
people
those
are
every day.
inside of there? So it does look like, as the traffic conditions warrant here, they may actually have an opportunity to bring CHP into the picture. CHP is monitoring the movements of the vehicle, whether they have anybody in position to take it over. That's a different story. There was some officers on the 5 freeway that were perhaps ready to do that, but now that he is kind of switching it up on them, perhaps getting off at the 110 here as he gets all the way over to the right lane. That's going to put him on a 110 transition. We'll see if he goes north or south here, hugging that right lane. Probably going to take it northbound. Northbound 110.
How do you rob somebody without a weapon?
105 here in Gardena,
like intimidate
on the 110 northbound as he makes his way into much heavier traffic. He is going to regret this decision in the next 2 minutes here, as traffic will come almost to a halt near the top of your screen there. So he's in for a rude awakening if he thinks he's going to get anywhere fast. Maybe an opportunity for CHP to get involved here if they can get through the traffic themselves.
Right. This is really one of the most awful places to be during rush hour, and that is heading towards downtown on the 105, almost a guarantee. And there he's hitting it right now. It'll be interesting to see what his behavior is as he tries to navigate through this. Of course, he's utilizing the shoulder a bit, but keep in mind he's in tracking mode.
Yeah, of course he is.
Right now, there are no units behind him. I don't know if he's aware of the helicopter overhead, but it does seem like he's a little bit more settled down.
And that's always the question, right? This is where you want to see how is his behavior going to change.
Good to see everybody. Sorry about that.
There's nobody right
He's
behind
not here.
him. Is he
Doesn't
going to
give me
try
the
and blend
opportunity
in and just start driving with the
do
flow of
what I
traffic?
need to do
Or is he going to
in
resort
order
to some
to
more
let
desperate
people know we're
moves? Is he
live.
going to ride that
400,
shoulder?
man,
Is he going to just jump off
Good
the
to see
freeway
everybody.
altogether so he could find another place to either dump the vehicle or hide out? Again, unclear whether this vehicle belongs to the driver or if the vehicle itself is perhaps stolen property. Always a good shot, but we just don't know in this particular case. In any event, he's getting over to the left,
Maybe he
which
broke into
tells you he may
somewhere
be
and
committing
stole
to the
something. Was my
110
guess.
freeway. It breaks up a little bit
Of course not.
after the
Me and
next
you,
mile
bud.
or so, and then it slows down once again. Definitely a more normal rush hour on the 110 as opposed to the 105.
Good to
as
see
you
you
saw those
spellbound.
empty lanes earlier, but this is a much different challenge for him, assuming LA County Sheriff sticks with him here. So we'll see what happens if anybody else gets involved here. But right now,
I have been waiting
pretty much stuck
for a
on the 110
very
freeway.
long
We
time.
are now
They're transitioning? Oh, that's not good. Hold on. That's them, not me. I'm still here. James, good to see you. Don't make me jump to another network, because I will. Oh, Lord, I will. What are they doing? Get it together, man. I'm the only person on Facebook streaming this live. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. And if they don't get their crap together, I won't be doing it for much longer. Let's see who else is live. We got other people live, so they're not the only game in town tonight. Wow, that is wild.
You can see he's jumped over to the main lanes. We don't have a whole lot of information.
Oh, wow. What are you doing, ABC? You're killing me. Killing me. I know other stations are trying to get there.
This crime together, but in any event, he is still refusing to pull over here. Not that he has anybody right behind him, but still seeing a certain amount of agitation. Just the way he jumped over those double lines there, you can see the driving has not been entirely composed, but not entirely erratic either as he starts to hit some slower traffic. We'll see what he resorts to here, or if anybody else decides to get involved, and that'll be indicative of just how far they decide to take this. If LA County Sheriff stays over it, certainly the freeway is the best place for him to be right now. If they do want to get involved, he's just going to spend as much gas as possible on the freeway, unless he takes it back into the streets of South LA, which is where we are.
That could be a real problem. At least he's staying within traffic. But as you said, it is a bit sticky. He even used his blinker, Giovanna. So maybe he's trying to kind of fade in with everybody else.
He's trying to blend in. Don't let him blend in.
So maybe he is thinking, has he gotten
able to get away?
Yeah. Has he gotten off the hook on this one?
Well, the upside, obviously, with the traffic is that it will slow his speed.
530
now,
of you.
he
Good
was
to
very
see everybody. Make sure you like the video.
To take advantage when traffic opened up a
subscribe
little bit,
wherever you're watching.
Then he sort of took off. Although so far he's been within the freeway driving ranges.
Well, surface streets right now.
Yeah, he was doing about the speed limit on the freeway, and now he's just decided he's had enough. The traffic was too slow. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Now we'll see if he completes this left turn here or dumps the vehicle under the overpass. A frequent tactic by a lot of these pursuit drivers. We'll keep a close eye on
he dumps
the right
then where is he
side
gonna go?
of that freeway. And by the way, he is just... Copy that. All right, we're keeping a close eye on the right side of the freeway as we try and keep eyes on this. We are being directed by air traffic control, but you can see now we did not see the vehicle, but yet we see these black and whites coming through here. Unclear whether they could see them. I don't know if you guys saw them, but a whole bunch of LAPD units now coming out the other side on Gage Avenue. That is going to be the westbound side of Gage Avenue, and for my money, I did not see him come through there, but it looks like they may be coming to a stop there. Over to the left, Josh.
They don't know where he's at.
Over to the left.
Oh, they're turning around. They're going back under the other way,
They might be turning around. I'm being told by our assignment desk he may have turned around under the overpass and may be traveling in the opposite direction. So those LAPD units were going westbound on Gage. I'm being told by our desk he may be traveling in the opposite direction. And there you see a couple of those black and whites now turning around with them. And it certainly appears they are now traveling eastbound. So he must have done a U-turn underneath that overpass in an effort to try and throw everybody off here, but in any event, I don't actually have a clear visual of where he is. It looks like he's approaching Florence, from what I'm being told. So and zero in on his movements here, but you can see those LAPD units now turning on their lights and sirens, code 3, as they travel southbound on Broadway, and I'm told he just made the turn. So they're just a few hundred yards behind him. They're going to make an eastbound turn right there to the top of your screen. That's Florence, and that's apparently where he is.
And that is
radio.
A whole lot of patrol vehicles following him at this point.
Such a great move, huh, Billy?
It's very difficult to see from our vantage point right now. We're trying to make our way back down there, but he's just made a turn southbound onto Main, and there he is. There he is right there, making that right turn, zigzagging his way through south. Look at that, cutting that driver off. Almost
getting aggressive now. Look at him go.
And now he's going back towards the 110 freeway. That's 76th Street, traveling away from Main Street, back towards the freeway.
Stars over there.
It looks like he was just too antsy making up those turns as he went along, maybe looking for an opportunity to just get back on the freeway despite the traffic. We'll see. He's going to come out here back on Broadway. He's in between Broadway and Main, and it looks like a left turn southbound on Broadway. Southbound on Broadway, now paralleling the 110 freeway. We'll see if we see any other black and whites pull in here.
I wonder if he spotted those black and whites on that underpass and decided to take evasive action. Look, he's really moving right now.
Now he's driving dangerously.
Yeah, I think he spotted the black and whites. He knows that they're after him again, and so he is taking off.
Okay, we're going to jump.
I can almost
guys.
guarantee you that's probably exactly what happened, David.
Terrible
he
job.
must have seen them, and there were a bunch of them, too.
Yeah.
And they were probably, I don't know if they were
I'm going to jump
for this
to,
pursuit or if it was just happenstance that you had some of those officers in the right place at the right time.
We're getting out of this.
It's certainly very random that he decided to take that exit, and just by happenstance.
Just by happenstance. Look at Mikey in jail. That son of a bitch doing time. Hard times, baby. Hard times. Here we go. Back to the chase. Just like
you're
that.
seeing now is what we.
That's them, not me. It must be in a bad area.
Roughly 80 miles an hour or so.
700 of them here. Good to see everybody.
Here on a Monday afternoon on the
like,
subscribe. Freeway coming up to Century. So
this is a robbery suspect.
He's going to come up to will be the 105 freeway.
Unarmed robbery, by the way.
He was over near the 105 and the 605 for a good portion of
Robert
the time
B.
before making his
Hallelujah.
way westbound and northbound.
Thank you so much for becoming a member. Join us every Friday for members only. Why are people giving money?
Yeah, 95
this is my
miles
job.
an hour. That's what makes it so
not.
dangerous because the freeway is pretty busy. So there's going to be slower moving vehicles in front of them, and these are really high speeds. And
years.
There's no ground units behind him. There's no patrol units behind him. So there's really nothing for other drivers to know that this vehicle is coming.
That's all I'm asking, man. He's opening it up now. Now that they put a little pressure on him, he's gone nuts. He really has. I mean, we remember how gently he was driving, but now he's passing everybody. Maybe that wasn't a very good idea, but we got to get him, right?
Southbound, Harry. South. Yeah.
Good to see you, Christy. How are things in Mayberry?
Yeah, I'm back with you guys here. Yeah, we are navigating the difficult airspace that LAX can be at this time of the day, but we're
okay. That's what I figured. That's why we've been getting these really weird.
Just passing by El Segundo, and he's in the carpool lane. Fortunately,
another legend.
This stretch of the freeway not as bad as what we saw there in South Los Angeles.
I mean, this guy's no idiot. He knows the area.
Yeah, as far as we know, this is not a stolen car. So as long as those plates actually correspond to the vehicle, then deputies would have had an opportunity by now to run the plates and figure out where the vehicle is registered to. And so what they'll typically do in these situations is send some deputies to that location and just wait for the car, because oftentimes people will just return to an area that is familiar to them. They'll usually just go home, they'll go to a friend's house, and they can try to take them into custody then.
If everybody watching over on Credence and Bishop show page would hit the like button, that would give us 500 likes immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. All the in and out of traffic, weaving in and out of lanes like that, it is very dangerous driving. If he could just stick to one lane, even if he's going 100 miles an hour, that would be so much better than what we're seeing, because he is really all over the place. And one
strong arm robbery is more violent,
and hopefully nobody gets hurt. But there has been one crash already when he crashed into
with a robbery. He could also be like broken into something and stole something, right? It doesn't necessarily mean he took it from somebody.
About the last 30 to 40 minutes.
Richard, my friend, how are you? Look there. Even Tiff's here. Good to see you, Tiff. Tiff, a longtime supporter of this channel. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Made her laugh. Doing 100.
Absolutely, Colleen, and I can see some of that slowing coming up here in the next few miles.
Triple
So
digits.
you're going to get to
Got to
witness
make
it
the
here
move.
firsthand. But as you said, with a lot of that port traffic, there's a lot of vehicles coming up ahead, and he may get stuck in some of that.
Thank you, Officer Porkchop. 880 people here. Glad to see each and every one of you.
Yeah, it looks he did miss his chance there. I hear that he may be exiting actually. And so I'm going to just widen out the shot here a little bit because we lost him there with the overpass. I think this is him though. Yeah, so it looks like he is in fact exiting. Yeah, so he's
I'm doing everything I can, get you guys the best shot of what's happening. It's looking like 7 is back on a good shot.
He's
so
he's on the 91. 91 East.
Move over the gore point, almost losing control there. A very quick right turn there onto the, that's the exit ramp, I think, to the 405.
Yeah,
we'll see. That might put him on the southbound side of the 405. Not sure.
Overhead. The sheriff's department has their helicopter, and they're the ones that are calling out this chase. And there's a CHP unit. You saw him move.
All right, guys.
He was waiting at the off ramp, so let's see if he gets
up
behind
for
the car.
you.
So
I'm doing everything I can here, guys.
He just exited and is going west. And there's that CHP unit now behind. There's the second one. So this will make it easier for us to follow at least, and it'll make it easier also for other drivers just to know of the danger that is coming their way, because they'll at least see those black and whites with their lights on, and that will kind of just trigger in them the idea.
All right. A little bit of a better shot here. I'm going to monitor both shots to try and keep everything as good as we can. For as long as we
traveling eastbound away from the 110. Now eastbound 91 freeway, slowing down a little bit, still in the 90s here as he hugs those right lanes, getting off at Main Street and back onto Surface Street. So it's certainly a
this guy's all over the place. That's for damn sure.
Turns up as he goes along, which there you see it. Look at that. They've met. Despite all of that, CHP has now got a unit right behind them. Look at that.
Well, here comes some questions.
Here comes the sun.
Dealing with the end of this pursuit. That is.
All right, back to the
windows are, so we can't really see inside.
Wow, I'm way behind, guys. You have to give me a sec.
This is one suspect or multiple suspects.
Look at this through a busy intersection.
Flying through.
Yeah,
that's super dangerous.
Close call.
Thank you so much,
from their knowledge,
Flusha.
From what we're hearing, they were trying to determine the very
Flusha,
same
I'm
thing.
5 minutes behind on
use
comments.
Plural language, which leads me to believe that there are more than one people inside that car, but so far no confirmation, as they have been struggling to get an idea of what's
980 of you here.
Those heavily tinted windows.
Subscribe.
Driving. It's escalating.
Careful.
Right before our eyes here. Every time he gets off the freeway, you see these antics, especially with the knowledge that there is a CHP unit only 100 yards behind him.
He's getting.
Well,
I mean, I hate to say this, we got to get this guy, but the more pressure we get on him, the worse it's going to get.
Largely an
simple as that.
It looks a bit less traveled,
Bobby
at least at this very moment, Chris.
Sidewinder, yes, this is very live.
Yeah, this is a more industrial area that he's decided to get off at here. He's on Broadway approaching Walnut Street in Compton.
Is that it, Dr. Torque?
I think I saw a second unit getting behind that primary unit, and maybe when they have just enough units, they'll have an opportunity in an area like this.
Glad
these intersections
you
are still
made
pretty
it.
busy. You can see he's going through every single red light here, so no signs of obeying any of the street signs or
look, we make a lot of jokes, but we really hope no innocent people are injured during this. This is
they may give the go ahead.
This guy commits crime.
But not at these speeds. He's going to have to slow
That's up
down
to him.
tremendously for the permission to be given to go ahead with that pit maneuver. If he can establish any kind of a pattern, obviously, you might see a unit ahead of him.
This is going to end badly.
But right now,
I'm going to tell you now.
the conditions are
Sweet tea with the $1.50. Thank you so much.
Albertoni Street is relatively
we appreciate the support, and we need it. I'm going to lie.
The wrong way. This is a desperate driver who, while we saw some fairly manageable driving on the freeway with everybody behind him, now that those officers
Yeah,
on
you
his
are.
tail. His behavior has changed dramatically. And look at this. I think they may have given the go-ahead.
We're coming in hot.
You're going to see that Explorer right there, that Interceptor, just pull right up on his tail.
He's on his ass. He's still grabbing his ass.
An aggressive acceleration right there as he was slowing down. It looked like he was
on him.
to give it a shot. And right then, the driver stepped on the gas pedal. So
he's right on his ass.
That we can see here right behind him. Is there a third, Josh? Is there a third one behind
Good to see
him,
a Constable Bob.
No.
Just those two. Okay, 2 black and whites right behind him, and a little more traffic here. He's going to jump the curb. Jumping the curb on Albert.
Oh, he's going to get stuck.
Tony,
He better be careful.
That's going to be his way back onto the freeway if he can navigate this. There is now 1 CHP officer behind him and 1 sheriff's unit.
Oh, by the way, there's 1,000 and 1,100 of you here. Good to see everybody. We're in the middle of a chase.
And he just lost.
He's the definite a-hole, Gabby.
On this vehicle. So the hubcap.
Oh, he's just hitting everything. He's hitting it all.
Squeezing through, wedging through that moving truck and hitting several vehicles. Here comes a couple more love taps, and he's coming to a dead stop here.
Yeah, but he's not afraid to hit. Everybody better watch out.
No hesitation.
Ooh,
He
this
is just
is good.
striking these vehicles one after another, slowing down, and
Now they can't let him go.
With him as they try and keep up with this.
I don't believe so, Tina.
Who has no regard for that vehicle. I would be surprised
Religion?
if it belongs to him, but in any event, he is driving it like he stole it, and he is breaking every rule on the
and
road.
it's still driving great. It's handling like a dream.
Hard enough to where you see the whole
a lot of bumping and grinding through there.
Hit it pretty hard. So a number of vehicles, a number of places of collateral damage from this one pursuit. And look at the damage on his vehicle.
He's gonna.
When this whole thing started, there's a couple of scrapes, but nothing like this. So he clearly
that front end damage is all new. Yeah, all that front end damage is new. After he hit that truck, that's all fresh damage there.
It's all fresh.
So, I mean, it's not
and so clean. Brent, thanks so much for the donation.
And,
keeping the lights on around here, the internet going.
Well, looks like the hood is slightly popped open, but this is a dangerous.
Only dummies don't. See, listen to Shelly.
Has to be taken off the road. Those crashes.
Oh, Stu's not on 11. Stu's been off work quite a while.
They can't afford to just let this guy skate free.
I can text them maybe. Ask them to come on with us.
To the general public, and we
I don't think spike strips.
Visual evidence of that.
I don't know. Maybe
have to use some more desperate measures here as the opportunity arises.
that front tire though is going to pop soon.
And so dangerously, they do need to get him off the road. It's just impossible to do it under these circumstances. Or maybe this is a chance right now with traffic slowing down, but he seems to get away.
Doug, thank you for the dono, and thanks to all 1,300 of you that are watching from across all our platforms. Welcome.
Surveillance mode.
Can you help us out? We're trying to get to 10,000 on Queens of Bishop Show and 3,000 subs on We Gotta Chase. Help us out.
You're seeing right here, he's going to fall back. He's going to fall back quite a ways, and we'll see here because now he's losing another.
Yeah, I was going to say he has to be on the phone. He's not working.
He ended up under a big freeway. He made a U-turn. This time it looks like he's going to go back in the opposite direction. Maybe take the westbound lanes.
No slowing down this time.
Here comes that CHP unit behind him to get back onto the freeway with him. So every time traffic gets a little too hairy for him, he just decides to switch it up and now going the opposite direction, the opposite way. That
how many cars you think he hit while ago?
Westbound 91 here, getting back over to
like
those
7
lanes as he tries to lose that CHP officer.
Is this side? It appears that this.
I don't know exactly where it started, but it's been going on now for about almost an hour now.
And you can see once again, the right side is the westbound side. The eastbound traffic is all of that rush hour traffic he's going against. So right now he's got the luxury of a pretty empty freeway for the next several miles, but you can see that rear bumper flapping in the wind as he pushes the pedal to the metal, 105 miles per hour according to our
son of a gun
tracker, and it's just a matter of time now before they figure out
it's gonna be bad if it he's gonna
only imagine how much gas he started with, but the best hope is probably for him to run out of gas.
Good to see you.
But that could take a
I'm
while.
watching him as well.
So CHP and the LA County Sheriff's Department tracking him from above.
You'll never get that
those
back.
Ground units have fallen way, way back as they give him a little more breathing room.
We're climbing again.
We're efforting getting you some video of when he slammed into these other vehicles.
Oh, and here it is.
Pop it up on the curb, and then you can see him try to squeeze back onto the road. And when he does,
he hits everybody.
Try to find a narrow pathway between the two lanes, and that's when you could clearly see that he is going to just, you know. Oh, there's a hubcap there, but here he's coming up to more traffic, and you'll see
squeezes in between
to more traffic, and you'll see
squeezes in between.
Squeezes there, but stay with us on this. Right here, that's the truck. Watch the truck actually move. Look at that. He hit that truck so hard it actually moved it, and he hit the other car on the right-hand side, and he kept it going. He did it again here.
He hit so many of them. I mean,
but the cars, I think, are going to get out of the way. No, maybe not.
No, I think they do get out of the way here, and then
he squeezes his way.
Guys, I'm so far behind on comments. I do appreciate all the love and all the comments on here, even the bad ones.
A suspect still trying to get away at high speeds. Right now, he's on South Avalon Boulevard and East.
But there's 1,500 of you here right now. Please,
Boulevard. So on surface streets
subscribe
at
wherever
this
you're
point,
watching.
and still driving much too fast.
Look at that over the curb, even with nobody behind him. Even with nobody behind him, just jumping.
Oh, he's not going to stop now.
And going through this red light here, I think he's going to blow right past it as he gets into oncoming lanes
of
traffic.
Hard time, Joey.
Wild right turn. That looks like a PD unit there on the corner.
Don't be like me, Joey.
But standing by there, almost anticipating
Compton was the
original
off
the freeway at Artesia, northbound
there you
Avalon.
go. Thank you so much.
Going eastbound on Alondra Boulevard from Avalon. A little more traffic here and a desperate driver behind the wheel. You can see there's more units in the area. They're just not putting the pressure on because they've now been able to observe his behavior with black and whites behind him, code 3, and they've watched his behavior without all of those units right behind him.
Brandon.
And right now, I think they are desperate to just bring down
Brandon, I don't
the temperature.
remember seeing you around. I appreciate having you here.
Give him a little bit
like
of
Brandon.
breathing room. Unless he just gives them no choice but to take aggressive action here. Now you see again the driving, the dangerous driving,
turning around to get that hubcat.
The fact that there's nobody behind him. So all of that is playing into the decision making, of that watch commander, those supervisors that are watching this pursuit. They are watching each and every move here, trying to figure out and triangulate their way back into this vicinity to bring this to an end.
Yeah.
And again, this started in Lakewood, Chris, correct? And what time ago? About
You're
half an hour ago, is that right? He's covered a lot of ground in half an hour.
Hello.
He's done a lot of circles in the last 45 minutes, I would say. It started with LA County Sheriff's Lakewood office. Unclear whether the original crime actually was in that vicinity or perhaps, a days old. Actually, I'm being told it started in Cerritos.
Maybe.
So it started in Cerritos.
He might still be late,
now
though. That's
it looks
the thing,
like
Mikey.
He's making his way back.
Caught up
Look at this, a close call.
Ooh,
those cross-traffic drivers had to come to an immediate break.
And that guy had no idea there's probably a
case
case going on.
In the middle of that red light, he knew he didn't have it.
Only a minute
he can't
behind.
do a weird stop there, but in any event, now back on the gas pedal.
That's part of the issue about not having pursuing officers where you can hear their lights and hear their sirens because there's nobody behind him and he's still driving erratically. There's no warning that he's going to be flying through an intersection like that.
All the constables,
that's
all the
right,
mods,
and that's the value
their finger work out for the day
to begin with, is to make. Oh man! Oh, so close as he speeds through these red lights. I mean, he really is not giving himself much room to even brake. He is just blowing through them, and somebody is going to get hurt if this continues.
How's this guy not had a heart attack and crap his pants?
Nobody behind him here, but it is so delicate because how could you expect
so many close calls
to try and keep up with a madman like this in such dangerous traffic conditions? It is a really delicate balancing act that these officers have to weigh. But you mentioned it, David. Without those lights and sirens, nobody at these intersections or approaching intersections even know that there's trouble heading in their direction. And that's when you get innocent people getting very hurt during these pursuits. There's just no way around it. When somebody is so desperate and so uncontrollable,
like what he's saying,
the driving is crazy. The dangerous driving is continuing at this point for no apparent reason. Again, without anybody behind him, he is still driving so erratically.
I don't want to besmirch the good name of this criminal, but
dangerously.
Yeah, but that is the strategy of law enforcement, right? They pull back when they see that someone is driving so erratically, so that they will calm down and hopefully take the speeds down and take the temperature down, as you mentioned. But this person is not doing that.
That is not what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say. Good to see you.
Think twice about their actions and maybe collect their thoughts, but it already appears that there's at least one passenger
Brandon's here? Brandon,
in that passenger seat.
Brandon
it doesn't really help things, especially if there's multiple
is that
people
why
inside the car.
1,720 of you here?
Again,
Brandon, at least hit the like button, you son of a bitch.
No matter what angle we get, we really can't make out how many people are inside there. But when you have multiple suspects egging each other on and enjoying the joyride, which is no fun.
Come join the joyride. We're going to jump over here. This feed's a little bit better.
We're seeing all over these surface streets here.
If there's an echo, let me know. I will fix it.
Southbound on Santa Fe, approaching Artesia. Now we were just in the same area a little while ago. Now
he's going back for that hubcap. You guys are right.
So making a left turn onto Artesia Boulevard, and sooner or later we'll have the opportunity to get back on the 91 potentially.
Constable Bob.
He's got to be thinking about how is he going
Appreciate it. 1,700 of you here. Glad you're here. Please do us a favor.
We have seen occasions.
Yes, there are, but one of us is missing. I think
helicopter can't see them, and
was abducted by aliens earlier in the day.
It takes a while for officers on the ground to reach that area. We've seen that happen before, but right now this guy just seems bent on taking any path that he could find, and there's no redundancy either. There's not a pattern here, so they could determine.
No, there's no politics or anything like that here. It better not be.
Yeah, it's really discerning because the options are limited.
Look at that. You're running people off.
Especially knowing that these guys
with your rhetoric.
At least the original report was that the robbery was not an armed robbery. You still have a deadly weapon that they are dealing with. That vehicle is a deadly weapon that is now posing a threat to not only the motorists trying to get home from work here, but also the units that eventually go to make that felony stop and bring this to an end, which is all going to play into that final decision. You got to hope at this point that maybe, just maybe, and we've seen it many, many times, maybe he ends up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Look at this, a bicyclist coming the opposite way on that shoulder there as oh man, he is pushing it. He's pushing his luck, but maybe by happenstance, one of these officers will get lucky.
Sorry about that. I want to check something real quick.
But it's just so difficult, especially.
It looks like all the trolls and stuff have left, which is nice. Everything's settling back down.
But he didn't do it.
Look at his car, how beat up.
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
It's been through hell. What do you expect?
You know, I mean, so
he's
far
beating it up.
Cosmetic damage, but
started in Lakewood.
You know, one big hit, and
Mikey.
that could immobilize the vehicle.
I'll take it as the truth.
Hit an object or a tree, or
he robbed us sunglasses.
He just takes your breath away every time he
righty,
because he hasn't stopped for a single one. And as you can see, lots of
gotta
people
rob somewhere. I guess you gotta rob somewhere.
Walking, trying to, you know, move on with their day, have no idea that this dangerous situation is closing in on them, and that's why it's always preferable to see these pursuits on the
video feed.
Exactly where he
good to see you.
Once again, deciding to get back on the freeway, but now we're on the opposite side of the 91 that we were showing you earlier.
Dick Harris. We're doubling back.
The opposite way.
We're going back the other way. That's the way it is. 1,700 of you back in here again.
We've ended up in the exact
is the echo still there, or is the echo gone?
Damn it. Maybe 30 minutes ago.
Right, I'll switch off this one. That's all we'll do.
Opposite that original direction, eastbound on the 91.
Is there echo now? With no Mikey audio. Jump to this one. Not that one. There we go.
They're familiar with, and maybe that's the case here again.
so often, and it makes you.
Shouldn't be one now.
The psychology behind that is, in some ways, obvious, but in other ways,
they're
it's
having a
fascinating.
real tough time too,
In
because
any event,
they've had
sure enough,
to
like
dodge
so
around
many of
everything.
them, we have now ended
Lots
up
of
right where
echo.
this all
Maybe that's why
started.
everybody left. There was
Too
tons of
soon to
echo.
say if it's going to
Who
end in the
knows?
same area, but he has just taken those law
I'm
enforcement
on a Mexican radio.
units and helicopters for a wild joyride for no reason at all,
I mean,
putting so many
all
lives
these
in danger,
echoes.
all to end up back where this started.
Should be fine now.
I don't think he's going to get away, not at this rate. Plenty of helicopters now keeping an eye on him, and ground units monitoring him, even though the pursuit is off. At least it's on the freeway. Maybe I spoke too soon.
We can't let
because it
this
looks
guy
like he's
go.
getting off of the
It's very
freeway.
echoey
The
in here.
hope is that
What do
he
you
can stay on
expect?
the freeway and
Right?
just burn more fuel. But in any event, looks like he's gotten off the freeway. Will he go through it, or will he make a southbound turn? Looks like he's going to make a southbound turn onto Downey Avenue.
Chase Reeve.
And now he is back in LA County Sheriff's jurisdiction, pulling into a residential
Pulling in somewhere to get
neighborhood.
something to eat.
Actually, looks like a McDonald's.
It's a McDonald's.
Check that. It's a McDonald's parking lot at a strip mall on Downey Avenue, and I'll try and get this cross. It looks like he's right at, he's cutting through, coming out on Artesia Boulevard.
I'm just a
cut
fat
through
guy.
that
Get
parking
excited
lot,
about McDonald's.
which was dangerous enough, but in any event, now going the opposite way on Artesia Boulevard.
He's just trying to get back home.
Another right.
A
So
big
he
circle
seems to be
around this.
He's just meandering this neighborhood.
This
not
is live,
with
Nathan.
any idea. It doesn't seem that he knows where he's going.
It's
He's just
happening right
desperately
now.
looking
So
for
share it
something.
out.
Yeah.
Give
And
it
to
a
your
like. We
point
appreciate
earlier,
it.
this is so nerve-wracking. We're on the edge of our seats, right, watching to see, when the worst might happen, when he might have a serious collision with another vehicle.
Yes, with the speeds he's willing to do, that's what you're afraid of. The inkling that I'm getting is that perhaps, as we watch some of these unpredictable moves, I wonder, did he actually turn around or come to a stop? I was just going to say,
because he didn't come out that other side.
Oh man, come on, get with
I had
it.
a feeling, I was just about to say, I think he's looking for a spot to dump the vehicle, and that might be what he's done, or is that him?
No.
That's him.
That's not him.
No.
Not
Nope,
him.
his
So I
car's
think
taken.
he's still under that overpass.
Yeah.
Here comes law enforcement. I saw somebody, either CHP or sheriff, pull under the overpass.
Wait,
We'll see
Is he on
if
foot?
they close in on him with more units here.
This is tricky.
They are running. They've run. They've dropped. They've dumped the vehicle, or at least one person is running out of the vehicle, traveling northbound on foot.
Hold on, guys. I gotta find.
Okay, northbound. Sorry about that. Yeah, northbound on Downey, but the driver is still in the car.
Okay. So
No,
some
he's
of the
not.
passengers have
No, he's not.
taken
There's a couple of people there, but in that far.
No, he's not. Hold on, guys. Jumping. And this is why you have to keep jumping, because people lose stuff all the time. That guy got out of the car and took off running.
You recognize maybe this is your neighborhood, lock your doors and roll up your windows if you're parked next
He's
to
out of the car and he's running.
You don't know what the driver will do
Absolutely.
when they get desperate. Right?
Yeah, if they're outside of the car, certainly there is the opportunity to
Is it a
woman? Anybody that's on the street.
No.
If those windows are open, it could be very dangerous for those people that are in this area of the 6700 block of Johnson Avenue here in the Bellflower
Little
area. Certainly, if you are home and watching KTLA right now, you will likely hear the airships overhead and the sirens as well. So again, a reminder to lock your doors immediately, and also to secure your windows to make sure that you can keep your family safe, because these suspects, they tend to, as we've seen many times over, want to find some kind of refuge and hole up in your house and barricade themselves where a standoff could last for hours.
Guys, I am so far behind.
And we might see that here. I switched
There's
from the
almost
female who's
2,000
running
of you here.
westbound
Please
to the male. I'm hearing
give this video a
the
like.
sheriff's talking about the male
we
running
see somebody?
in the shed. They have him at gunpoint right now. They believe he's still behind that shed, so they'll call him out, see if he comes out. As far as the female, she ran to the west in that neighborhood. She wasn't sure where to go, but when I heard them talking about the male here running eastbound, it sounds like they have him contained here between that shed and the freeway off ramp.
What about the woman we saw running?
Well, this certainly has been a very, you know, it was a high-speed pursuit for sure, and incredibly dangerous as it was making its way through several freeways in the Southland, and just driving so erratically, splitting lanes, hitting parked cars on surface streets, blowing through those intersections and red lights, and nearly, you know, hitting cars there, and then at the same time losing the side view mirror as it was squeezing through a box truck and another car when it was exiting the freeway. So at any cost, the suspect was trying to get away. And
they had no regard for others' lives in this pursuit. We saw them go through bike lanes on the shoulder of the freeway. And for those watching, this started in Lakewood. And I know, Gil, you said we had conflicting reports of possibly a strong arm robbery, or these are shoplifters, possibly both, trying to get away from police, going 100 plus on surface streets and through at least 5 different freeways throughout Southern California, as Cher mentioned. And it looks like possibly police are making contact with the suspects.
Yes, they believe this is the driver of the vehicle, male, that ran to the to the east.
Woman took off running,
still
and we
on the
lost
loose,
her.
2 blocks west of the boulevard that we were on here. But it looks like they have the driver here in custody, male, that was coming out from underneath the bridge. They did clear the vehicle that did stop underneath the freeway, and they believe that this is the one of 2 parties. This is
they call helicopters
and then the female who's still running. We may move over to that chase right now, as we hear she's running in between apartments right now. But this driver in custody now.
She's just checking out apartments for a place to rent.
Yeah, here we're showing a video from earlier when this pursuit was making its way through surface streets, and it looks like we do have a suspect in custody.
We got him up.
And there you go. So they were able to talk him out from behind that shed.
Shame,
he was
young
not
man.
compliant at first, but then did comply.
Shame.
So 1 in custody. The female still outstanding, but she's running around. We'll try to get a shot of that for you here in just a second here, as they confirm that man indeed
got a
is
yard
in custody.
sale going.
But to the west,
Where's
here
the
in this
woman?
neighborhood, I'll try to reacquire. Look at this. Here's a bunch of units here that are searching for her right now, and they got her.
There she is.
There she is. Okay,
Wild woman
the end to a wild pursuit here in Long Beach. 2 suspects in custody, wanted for robbery, possibly shoplifting in the Lakewood area. An hour-long pursuit that was certainly very tense, with high speeds. Finally comes to an end. We're going to take a quick break. Gil Levis, Gil Levis in the chopper for us. Thank you so much for all.
Go back over here, see what they're doing. They got him. The footbell was, I mean, we all knew that was going to happen. They just had to get out of that car. I mean, eventually, punch buggy, no punch back. Thanks to everyone who was nice enough to come through. We hit 2,000 of you here across all the platforms. We have 2 YouTube channels. One is Richard Simmons. You like Richard Simmons? I got you. Gary. But yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, thanks to everybody nice enough to come. Everybody nice enough to come out, hang out tonight. Been a good time. If you haven't subscribed to one of our channels, at least we got a Chase exclusive channel. Go do that. We do chases 5 days a week, in between all the live stuff as well. We also have another channel, Credence and Bishop Show, on the YouTubes. Make sure you go over there, subscribe to that. We do a lot of stuff over there. It's not just chases. It's a lot of stuff. We also have court every day at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Ruth. Thank you, Ruth. And yeah. Yeah, she was pretty athletic. She was running. I could have never caught her no matter what. If she'd have fell and broke her leg, I still wouldn't have been able to catch up with her. No problem, Eric. Hopefully we see some of you guys back again. Make sure you got notifications turned on, so every time there is a live chase, you can jump on with us. We don't just cover California. We cover the entire United States If there's a live chase, we're on it. Thank you, Richard. Hunter, come on, guys. Before you leave, at least like the video. You want to subscribe if you don't want to, but for goodness sake, at least a little bump of thank you, old man. Could have went to bed, Mikey. You worked your ass off last week. Yeah, and a big thank you to King Wolf. He is always keeping me up to date on what's going on so I can start looking and digging into things and be ready. So King Wolf, a big thank you to you as well. Oh, boy. Well, I'm tired from doing that. If Creed was here, he would want us to go and watch people walk around the street, but he's not here. So that means one thing and one thing only. All right, I got all the donos. I didn't forget any donos. The biggest mic in town. Oh, sorry, I didn't even click on it. Boom, big mic. All right, that was a good one. It was a lot of fun. Good seeing everybody. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna close up shop, and I'm gonna be gone. Last chance to like this video while it's live. Last chance to subscribe before we leave for the day. If anything happens later, I'll be on. Will you? I hope so. YouTube, be nice to us this time.
I don't care what your excuse is, YouTube.
Yeah.
That's a high roller, dog.
Yeah, he was. It was an exciting chase.
You have the right to remain horny.
Until next time, Mikey the Legend, baby.
Just do what I tell you.
Woo-wee. Listen.